Okay, Bill, thank you for joining this Zoom meeting which we have together. The reason why we have the Zoom meeting is that I would like to do an interview with you because we are very proud that you are coming to Belgium on the 9th and the 10th of October to the Heerlijckyt of Elsmeren, very magical place. And we are organizing together with you a 2-day Constellation Masterclass. And yeah, and I think it would be great for the potential participants to get to know you already a bit and to hear about these 2 days. Maybe quickly for we know each other from the cloister Bernried in the south of Germany, where we met in 2016, where we had the Constellation intensive for a week. And at that time already, I was quite impressed by you, in fact, for 2 reasons. One reason is that you gave a speech, a talk about love and about sometimes that things we perceive that we cannot love, that there is often love behind. And that talk really touched me. And secondly, I joined, I think, 2 workshops, Constellation workshops with you. And then I experienced the very, very nice energy, the field which you create, as well as the constellations we did. And yeah, I thought, and I think they were really transforming. So always I thought, oh, I would like to work with Bill. And I thought at that time I already organized the Coach Cafe, and I thought, maybe we can organize, but I never had the guts. And then in January, you came, you gave me a mailing, I think it was, for the invitation to join an online workshop you gave because of the COVID, of course. But that was a great opportunity to meet again. And from there, I heard that you were traveling to Spain later on this year and that we could work together to do a Constellation Masterclass in Belgium. So I'm proud, I'm happy, and I would like to ask you some questions.
And I'm really excited, and I'm glad we could make this work, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, well, thank you. I mean, in terms of work, I'm originally trained as a marriage and family therapist, which was my introduction to systems work, and also as Gestalt therapy. So that's what I do here. I have a small private practice where I see individuals and a lot of couples. And then in the early 2000s, I was introduced to family constellations by my mentor, now colleague and friend, Ed Lynch. And I never looked back. I just was taken with the work. It fit into who I was and how I wanted to work in this field, and I've been doing it ever since. So now I've incorporated that work into my private practice work. I do individual constellations. Haven't done any groups lately because of the virus, but before the virus, I was offering trainings with my colleague twice a year or every other year, but that's all quieted down now. Now I'm online, as many of us are now, because of COVID. And so, but before all that, I was traveling overseas too. Oh my God, I've been to Belgium twice already, Romania, China, Brazil, Denmark, to teach and to do constellation work. And China recently, it's been twice a year in Shanghai to offer trainings. So I've been busy, but as we all know, this past year and a half, everything is quieted down.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit more about me. I really love what I do. I try to work very small and simply and get to the heart of the matter. Yeah, this is a workshop which is, no pun intended, it's dear to my heart. I've done this workshop many times. This has been something that I like exploring over and over again. So the name of the workshop is The Mysterious Life of the Heart, Passion, Love, and Longing. And for me, it's a deep dive into really what we want, um, how we move in the world, about finding love, allowing ourselves to find love. That's on in an intimate level, and then what's the bigger love? What pulls us into the things that we care about. And I like to explore all that. And I've been doing it quite a lot. And each workshop, each seminar that I do takes it to a different level. And it's really looking at what prevents us from opening to the things that we really long for. And with constellation work, a lot of that is like family entanglement, our programming, our conditioning that stops us from stepping into that place, that sacred place of of allowing something to come towards us and allowing ourselves to move towards something, whether it's another human being or it's our passion for painting or creating something or being involved with people. What is that? So part of this seminar is to explore all those areas. What's happening with us personally? How can we open to something new and step into that? I'm happy to. Yes, I am. I like metaphor, and poetry brings metaphor. And I think for me, or words, um, they open a space. And I like to use poetry for meditation. I like to use certain kind of meditations. They open a space in us, and I think part of the master classes is to invite people to explore that for themselves. Not just in the class, but when they leave, because as human beings, we're so much more, right? We have so many things and so many facets about who we are, and words, certain words, and also silence to help to create a movement. So there's the work, and then there's the spaces in between the work. So the poetry is like an invitation to, in a practical way, come into the circle, come into who we are, opens a space, gets us moving and thinking, maybe touches something in us. And for the 2 days or 4 days or whatever the seminar is, it creates a ground, right? It creates a space, a holding space. And I really like metaphor. I always like to understand you as a client. Well, what's the metaphor? How would you describe your life just right now? And you come up with some sort of image, and then, okay, let's explore that image. What does that image mean to you? I'm in this, or I'm struggling. What's the struggle? Or I feel like I'm on top of the world. Okay, where are you on top of the world? I'm fascinated with that. So I will introduce that, and I'll talk more about it, and hopefully people will walk away with, say, something that they can really hold on to and take into their own work. And also we'll be doing exercises. I love exercises, and I know you've experienced some of these. These are very small, powerful constellations. And I invite anyone who's a trainer, a facilitator, a coach to take those. And of course, I will give a list to everybody and make them their own. They're not mine. I've incorporated them over the years and make them their own. Um, and that'll be part of the workshop as well. It doesn't matter. I am pretty open to, which I like. I'm pretty open to that. It doesn't matter. You don't have to know anything about constellations. If you're drawn to the work, come. Yes, you will learn something. There's no doubt. But you don't have to know anything about constellation work. Well, when part of what I like to do is is help people reconnect to who they are, and I like to work small, and I always pay attention to the body. And so, and I'll just share this. This didn't come from a workshop. This workshop, but it's all, to me, it's all connected. You know, And I might have shared this with you at one point, but I did this. There was this woman in China who was always sitting in my seminars, and she had this very interesting way of breathing. She would stop and like gasp for breath. And when she finally decided to do a piece of work, she wanted to complain about her mother. And then she would start talking and then do this. And I said to her, "Are you aware of what that is?" She goes, "No." And then I asked her questions. I said, "I want to ask you a question. Did something happen to you as a child? Did you have asthma or any breathing difficulties?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Okay." And she talked some more. And then it happened again. And I asked her again. And I was just curious, you know. And this is one thing I would say to all the coaches and trainers: always, always, always be curious. Just be curious. Be open to what's coming, and listen with your whole body. And then she remembered something. She goes, "Well, I don't know if this means anything." She goes, "But in China, under the rule of one child or whatever, or girls weren't respected." She said, "I was a third girl and I was born at home." And I said, "Well, what happened?" She said, "As soon as I was born, my grandmother wrapped me in a blanket and threw me in the garbage." So she was not breathing. She was gasping for breath. I said, "What happened?" She said, my father said no. And I said, "Oh, so he saved you?" She said, "Yeah." So that was the constellation. I said, "We only need one person." She was going in the direction of her bad relationship with her mother. And so we set up a man for her father and just her. And I said, not only did life come through him, but in the moment life came to you, he saved it. It changed everything for her. And I have to admit, I got very emotional. Everybody in the circle was emotional. It was just her and her father. And the constellation, just no instructions, talked to him, boom, and they finally ended in an embrace based on their own movements. So to me, that was like,
very big.
Well, and if we're talking about love, there's the deeper love. There's the love underneath. There's the thing I didn't see and realize, oh my God, this is what happened. This is the fact. Because of this man, I'm here. And she is a very successful woman, had her own business, married. So is really know yourself and know your own vulnerabilities. Whether it's you do work on yourself, you have done some psychotherapy in yourself. I think when you're working with people in a deep way, you have to know what activates you, so you can sort of put it in a container and be present for the other. Otherwise, if you're not, it could the signals could get crossed. That's one. That's just a personal ethic of mine. Just do your own work. Do your own work. And then in terms of practicality, is what I said earlier, is really learn how to listen with your whole being. Is because the person you're working with is giving you so much information. So, some of us focus on the body, some of us focus on the words. Pay attention and really be curious. Curiosity just opens a space. Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. Tell me what's coming. Tell me what your hopes, your dreams, your longings are. When you can settle into a place of curiosity, there's like no judgment, there's no expectation. There's just like, okay, and then I think that helps both of you create the next step. And I think that's important. Because in constellations, for me, or when I'm working with someone, it's co-created. It's not me doing something. It's, if you're my client, it's us co-creating it. And that's what I like. So I think the rest of it, let's leave it mysterious.
Okay.
And you know what? Even Bert was so brilliant. He said, much of this work, we have to sort of just step into the mystery, because there's not going to be answers. We have to sort of acknowledge the mystery. And to me, that touches me, because, okay, there's some things we're not going to understand.